What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I am your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morling. And here in the virtual studio with me is the one, the only, the very sleepy boy, JJ Purdom. What's up, JJ? How's it going?
So, pretty good, except for I may or may not have slept on the way over to the studio and killed a couple of cats. Garrett called and woke me up. I set my alarm incorrectly. I had a headache after work, took a little brief nap, and so I missed the timer. So sue me, Garrett. Sue me, literally.
Yeah, here we are starting at 8:48, only 48 minutes late. No big deal.
Is that it? Okay, well, we're going to keep this show short and tight.
We have people waiting for our show on our stream. Look at all these viewers popping off in the chat. They're watching us here. Obviously, the people listening later, they're not going to care because they'll get it when they get it. But I can't believe you kept the people waiting, JJ.
I'm so sorry, guys. But you know what? I had a great nap. It was a super good nap. Okay, it was a mediocre nap. It was an all right nap.
We have Ducky Jonesy saying it's almost midnight here, and then Mitchell saying I've been sitting here since 7:59 p.m. So,
oh man,
dude, that's almost an hour.
Garrett owes you a beer. Garrett owes you a beer, man. I'm so sorry.
I got you, Mitch. How's it going? How you doing? It's been a couple weeks.
So, a couple things have been happening in my life as of late. G Money, I am actually in the process of moving to Nebraska, as we've talked about on previous episodes. And recently I got to sit down for the first time in 20 plus years. I had to write an application online.
Oh, no.
Dude, you know how I am with the whole computer stuff, right? So not my forte.
You don't computer.
No, I do not computer at all. That's not my thing. Well, so interestingly enough, I actually ended up getting an interview based on some of my stuff on my resume. Apparently looks pretty good. I've had a lot of experience at a couple of jobs for a very long time. So I'm very employable and I stick around. I worked at the lumberyard for 21 years and at Bird Pest Control for 6+ years, 6.5 years now. And because of that, I guess it looks pretty good. And so I was told, before you go into the interview process, they have a thing called STAR interview testing. So this is where they are questions, behavioral questions, and you can go on YouTube and kind of cheat so you can learn how to structure your answers. I didn't personally do this. Everything was off the top of my head, just so you know.
Right.
But you kind of sound like you don't believe me, Garrett. Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I love you, JJ. You're great.
Yeah.
You're great.
Thank you, Garrett. I love me too. I love me very much. So I actually ended up sitting in with two ladies, and let me tell you, I said stuff to these two women from Nebraska about Nebraska women being fat. I offered to bring them chocolate. I had one of them stand up and show me her body on camera. I don't know if that's necessarily appropriate.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't believe you.
Some people have said that I have a golden tongue, or maybe it's a silver tongue. Maybe it's it's metallic in some ways.
Okay.
So basically, I did the interview process. She said, seriously, is he calling Nebraska women fat in an interview where we're supposed to hire this guy? And they had fun. They told me afterwards, this is the most fun we've ever had in an interview. They literally laughed the whole time. They said, if you don't get the job, you have to come in and entertain us, which I thought was pretty great. My brother actually works there for the state. And so they were like, you're so much funnier than your brother. And I'm like, and better looking, right? To which they laughed and, of course, said yes. And I said, you see, you do have to tell that to my brother when you see him. Like, I didn't realize he was so much better looking than you, So, he did tell me the next day. He's like, yeah, they told me that. Why would they tell me that? Stupid. These women are dumb, or whatever. And so the thing is I waited with bated breath over the last few weeks. And I got a call on Monday morning saying that I got the job. And in fact, I did so well. Thank you, sir.
Congrats. Everyone in the chat, give him a congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I did so well that there were two different positions, and the person who scored the highest in the testing was given the opportunity to choose which of the two positions they wanted. So
Wow.
I got my choice. And maybe working in social services, I'm going to basically be a social worker and help people with economic assistance. So I'm really excited. It's a new frontier
Nice.
in my life. And the crazy thing is, I'm gonna be at a computer all day. Ooh, this should be fun. This should
man.
be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be talking to people and telling them, no money, get a job, and things of that nature. No,
Jeez. Oh man. No, I'm more worried about the fact that you're getting a new job at like what? You're like 55, almost 60.
yeah, and this is because I worked out that I look this good at this age. No, I'm gonna be 43
Oh, okay.
this year, and
Had
so
me
thank
fooled.
you.
Had me fooled.
Thanks,
You
Garrett.
look a lot wiser than that.
Yes, I'm fully aware. It's the gray in the beard. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No, so this should be
worries.
fun. I know I'm probably going to have you on speed dial calling you and going, how do you make that Control-Alt-Delete thing work? How do you eliminate dirty movies off of a state of Nebraska computer?
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
That's the answer to that. Just don't do it. Just don't do
that.
it. Government-owned property. Don't
What are
do
you
it.
supposed to do for fun? What about like free Fridays? You know what I mean? No. Okay.
No, I don't think that's how it works. Oh, geez, I just checked out the chat. We have a couple, got a lot of people in here. Boba says, hey, cutie, and Garrett. So I guess, there you go. You're welcome, JJ.
Hey, Bubba, I was just talking about you, dude. That's so funny. And when I was talking about you and thinking about you, you had all your clothes on.
And
well, most of your clothes on.
Selkies used our emoji or the emote of my face with a red bandana on his head. So I don't know how he did that, but I guess I'm gonna have to start wearing a red bandana. I don't know what that means, but alrighty. Cool. Well, man, we got a fun show today. Today we're gonna be talking about Xbox Live's new name, next gen PSVR, another Resident Evil showcase. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our super gamer producer, Adrian the Homeboy Holmes. You can actually catch him. He was started streaming before us over at Homeboy on Twitter. Sorry, not. Oh yeah, he's on Twitter and on Twitch. He's streaming on Twitch. I'm an idiot. So go give him a follow over there. I'm sure he'll be streaming afterwards too. Maybe we'll do a raid over there. So yeah, shout out to Adrian, our Super Gamer sponsors as well. We have Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Brent Fox, and Daniel James. Thank you guys all so much for supporting us on Patreon. Remember, that's over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can support us too. Just $1 a month. You get episodes early and ad-free. And on top of that, there's a bonus show that you can only get through our Patreon Super Gamer Book Club. This month, at the beginning of the month, we put out the Dead Space episode where we talk about Dead Space for a couple hours. Next week, that episode will be coming out for April. It's going to be a Final Fantasy VII Remake spoiler cast. That's right. Me, Adrian, and Zetch are going to be talking about last year's hit, my game of the year from last year. So come join us on that. It'll be fun. And just a little update on on the show, the main show feed here, and on our Patreon stuff. So let's start with the Patreon because we were just talking about Super Gamer Book Club. So that will not only be the last episode, for a couple months, because we talked about last week, we're kind of going on a hiatus for a couple months while JJ moves to Nebraska. I'm moving to San Diego in a couple weeks. It's going to be real busy up in here. So we're not really going to have time for shows for a little bit. Just a couple months. So through April and May, hopefully be back in June for you guys. So that also goes for Super Gamer Book Club, but also a little announcement. I realized we didn't really mention it last week, but Zetch is actually going to be kind of backing away from Super Gamer Boys stuff for a little bit, for indefinitely. I'm not sure if he's ever thinking of coming back at all, but as he mentioned a couple months ago on an episode, he has another kid on the way, and life's been busy, work's busy, and we completely understand. I mean, I just had a kid a few months ago too, and JJ has 10 of them. I don't know,
7 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, dude,
it's a lot. They multiply in water. I also am not allowed to feed him after midnight.
Oh shoot, just like Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
I know that reference. I made it super lame now. But anyways, so just thank you, I guess, on the main show here. I want to say thank you to Zetch for the hard work he's
Absolutely.
done, helping us host this main show, as well as taking on, he was the main host of Super Gamer Book Club. We're hoping to, after this hiatus, have something lined up for you Patreon folks who support us, whether it's continuing that show with a new host, or heck, maybe we can get another new host in here to with a new show, new ideas. Looking at you, Adrian, you're pretty killer with your Super Indie Boys. Maybe we need a full-fledged episode of that. Who knows? Well, I'll be making some calls the next couple weeks, and hopefully have something lined up. But just want to keep you guys all in the know. That's what's going on here at Super Gamer Boys Industries.
Wait, see, we're industriated now?
We are industriated. It's official as of.
Is industriated even a word?
Now. I don't know, but I just got the email, and that's what it says.
Sweet.
So in the meantime, I'm going to continue to try to keep streaming. So you may still catch me playing some games on Twitch, because that doesn't really take a lot of effort just to pop on a stream and hang out with you guys. And it's fun and therapeutic for me. So I'll probably still try to do that as much as possible. But if I'm not on, make sure you're following over on Twitch, Homeboy. That's Adrian. That's HOLMBOI. Give Normcore Gaming a follow. They're on Twitch here as well. Boba Fletch, he streams. He hasn't streamed in a little bit, but definitely still give him a follow, because as soon as he goes live, you're going to want to be there.
Absolutely.
The real Dan, that's the REEL Dan, and then the real
Let's
gaming
go.
Dan. Let's freaking go. Yeah. And then the real gaming dad. He was actually on our Zelda episode that you guys probably saw a couple weeks ago. He's an awesome dude. East Coast boy. And go give them all a follow. I'm going to have links in the show description if you watch on YouTube and on our podcast as well. So
hey, Garrett, if I can real quick, I wanted to interrupt real quick because I like doing that to you. Just real quick, wanted to say about Zetch taking time away from the show and us putting a little pause, and it is only a pause. We are going to be back, like Garrett's saying, in June. We've got a couple of huge moves for both of our families right now, and we look forward to coming back bigger and better. And the streaming has been happening so much more often. Twitch has been phenomenal, coming out of Twitch and everything. So that's going to be a big part of our future going forward for the Super Gamer Boys. And we've just built a really awesome community. We're still going to be chatting with friends on the Discord and doing some streaming here and there, like Garrett was saying. And as far as Zetch, I want to say to Zetch that Zetch, you were fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and being a part of this show. You really were a great voice. And in addition to ours, and you stepped in when we needed you the most, when I had some family issues earlier this year or last year now. And just want to say thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, having you on here, your professionalism, how well you've taken the ration of crap, brother, that Garrett and I know Garrett has pissed you off a lot, like a lot. And you've totally pissed him off a lot too. But it's been truly.
I was gonna say.
It's been truly some of the best.
A mutual pissing.
Yes, but I know that it's been some of the best moments on this show's history is you guys brawling. And
that's that's what people love. They love the drama.
Yeah. And I like to instigate the drama a lot. But I do love you, you little dude. I just want to put you in my pocket and carry you with me to Nebraska. But I think like you having, 6 kids now, it's probably a little too much. And I just don't want to pay for all of that luggage. You know what I mean? So good luck to you, good sir. And we appreciate everything you've done for us.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we're going to talk more about our Patreon later in the show. But now I think it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes. I didn't want to lose it that time.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't cut out. There's no censorship here. Censorship here. Cool. Our news stories this week, very focused on Xbox, Sony, and just a little splash of Resident Evil in there. So this will be a fun one, hopefully. So Xbox Game Pass for PC now includes EA Play. This is almost more of a PSA than anything because, what was it? It was a few months back now. Over on Game Pass for a console, if you have a Game Pass or a Game Pass Ultimate, is that what they're calling it? Yeah, Game Pass Ultimate subscription. you got access to EA Access, which gave you games such as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Titanfall 2, the Battlefield games, a whole plethora of EA properties. Well, it's finally available on PC. It adds 60 plus games to the Game Pass library. And there's not much more news to it other than that. But I did want to talk about, I guess, it's Game Pass in general right now, because Game Pass was already pretty big. Like I mean, you have it. I don't have, I have Game Pass for PC, which is very different than Game Pass on console. I know Game Pass on console is massive, a huge, huge, huge library. On top of that, they added EA Play, which added, 60, 70 more games, all EA games that are generally pretty well liked in, whether if you're looking for a sports game or like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, stuff like that. And then just a couple weeks ago, it's the sale with Bethesda was official, and now they added like another dozens and dozens of games
right?
from Bethesda. 20, yeah, it was something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Xbox has that corner of the market on lock, right? Like there's no way Sony is catching up at this point. Like how does that what do you think about all that? Because in my mind, it just seems like there's no chance now. Like they're so far off in the distance, and Sony's still like tying their shoes at the start line.
I just spoke with one of my customers this last week, actually, who picked up a PlayStation 5. And so I saw it in his house, and so I was like, all right, sweet. He's got a PS5. So I said, dude, how you like that PS5? I've got one myself. And so we shared. He goes, honestly, dude, I love my Xbox much more. So he got an X Series X. And so he proceeded to tell me everything that was better about the Xbox in his vision. And one of the things is Game Pass. And that, man, they've really killed it this generation. And in the beginning, I know that you and I, when we talked about it, it's like, wow, they're not really putting much emphasis into their games, the way that PlayStation has all these amazing AAA games.
Right.
And then some of the games that Xbox was coming out with, the graphics weren't amazing, and they just seemed like it was like, really? This is it's kind of cartoony, and it just doesn't seem like realistic, like The Last of Us 2 or whatever. But you know what? I think that, man, they really knew what they were doing, and I think they're really killing it. I wouldn't be surprised if long-term Series X ends up outselling the PS5. I think it's going to be a long-term game. So
you think the Series X will or the Series S? Because in my mind,
Series S probably more than likely. I don't think the I don't think the disc portion of it is really that important to
especially if you're going for Game Pass.
Yes, and for the pricing and just really going for Game Pass, you cannot beat the value. You really can't. So
yeah, no, it's incredible. And I've talked about it on previous episodes. You guys are probably sick of it, but PlayStation Now is killer. I love PlayStation Now, and I think they even have a deal right now. It's I'd have to actually look it up. I want to say it was like a month for $1 or something like that, just to try it out. It was super cheap. It was one of those things where, but it's weird. It's like Sony just doesn't advertise it. Like no one knows about it. No one has any idea this is happening, except I happened to fire up my PlayStation for the first time in 4 months. I finally turned it on, got all the updates done on it. It was behind, let me tell you. Was flipping through the PlayStation Store. There's a couple sales going on. And then I was like, oh, wait, PlayStation. And I already have a PlayStation Now subscription. But one of the featured sales was, I think it was like $1 for a month just to like try PlayStation Now. I'm like, why aren't they talking about this more? That's such an awesome service that no one's using. And I don't know, like PlayStation, I think even PlayStation Now has more games available on its service than even Game Pass. But
it has far more games.
But one of the key things about Game Pass that I adore is that every game is you can install and download onto your system, where with PlayStation Now, only the PS4 games you can do that. And if it's PS3 or PS2, you got to stream it, which if you have great internet, it's fine. I've never had any issues. Like my internet is pretty good, and I've played tons of games on streaming and never had an issue. But yeah, I could see like, who knows? Maybe when you move to Nebraska, you're gonna have crappy internet. Like that would suck. I hope you don't have crappy internet, especially if we're doing a podcast together. You better pay for good internet.
I'm gonna pay for good internet. Well, the podcast will pay for good internet. No.
We'll see about that. We need a lot more Patreon supporters, maybe. Patreon.com/supergamerboys. But yeah, I just feel like Xbox is doing it so right with the just wide array of games that they're getting from their own first party stuff that day and date is a launch on Game Pass to EA being on there and getting like those games. And then with Bethesda, like all like the future Bethesda games, I'm sure are going to be on Game Pass. Like it's a no brainer now that it's a first party studio. Yeah, it's a killer deal, and it just made me stoked. It's even just as good of a value on PC. So I know the story was about the PC, so it's bringing around. It also is interesting, to bring it around here, that I feel like I almost don't even need to buy an Xbox anymore because I'm getting all these perks on a PC. Like, why go out and spend the $300-400 on the Xbox Series S or whatever when I got my PC?
Well,
I now have access to the Bethesda games. I have access to all the first party Xbox games, and I have access to the EA Access now. So it's like, my controller works on there. I can play Xbox games with a PlayStation controller. It's great.
blasphemous. Now,
Yeah.
I thought that one of the big aspects of having it on the Xbox versus the PC was that there's so many more games available. I mean, so does that not still
Yeah.
entice you to want to pick up a Series S at some point?
The so I do love the console experience. Like I love my PC, and I've been playing a lot more PC games the last 4 or 5 months. Like I said earlier, I barely have touched my PlayStation. I literally like unplugged it. It's been unplugged for months, not even just not touched, but packed away basically. But there's something about like as soon as I fired it up, or even in the last couple of weeks, I was talking with you the other day, I've played so much Switch in the last couple of weeks, and there's just something about playing on a console that I still love. And maybe it's just because that's what I've known and loved my entire life. So it's like, this feels comfortable. Like I just feel so good holding a controller in my hand or holding that Switch in my hand. Like that's just so good. But so down the road, I'm sure if I have the funds or like the all access thing becomes available again, I want to buy a Series X. I have a 4K TV. I want to use it. Let's get the console because I like the console, and it has a slightly bigger library on the Game Pass there. But for the time being, like I'm not in a rush to do it. And which is such a freeing feeling, like to be like I don't have to get out there and get the Xbox because I have access to 99% of it right here on my PC. Where like with a PlayStation, that's not true. At this point, I don't feel it, but once games start coming out for PlayStation, like then I'm going to start having that pull, like, I gotta get one because I'm going to want to play those games that eventually come out, and because that's the only place to play them. So yeah, this is very, very interesting the way they're doing it. I'm happy they're doing it that way. I know we doubted you, Xbox, but tell you what, you've really come around, and they're killing it now. So it's crazy. Alrighty, so the next news story here is also Xbox story about how Xbox Live is now called Xbox Network. Microsoft has officially renamed Xbox Live to Xbox Network. The online Xbox experience will be updated to reflect its new name. Originally reported by The Verge, Microsoft issued an official statement confirming the name change. Xbox Network refers to the underlying Xbox Online service, which was updated to the Microsoft Service Agreement. A Microsoft spokesperson said in a statement to The Verge. The update from Xbox Live to Xbox Network is intended to distinguish the underlying service from the Xbox Live Gold memberships. So, again, like not a huge news story, but it is interesting that for so long, it's either you have Xbox Live or you don't. You either have access to their stuff or you don't. But now that they're talking about adding some features like, free to play games, not requiring Xbox Live Gold, or even the party chat, again, not requiring Xbox Live Gold. They're actually kind of taking the Sony approach where, okay, those features will be available under Xbox Network. If you were to direct parallel to that, it's PlayStation Network, Xbox Network, that kind of thing. Or if you want the online multiplayer games, that's when you pay for Xbox Live, which, would be akin to PlayStation Plus kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's just a very minor, change in name, but the idea, it does make sense. Like, it was needed in order to explain to people, hey, if you sign up for an Xbox Network account, you'll be able to use Party Chat and you'll be able to play Fortnite for free. But if you want to play Call of Duty, or that's not even a good example because Call of Duty is free to play now. If you want to play Madden, the new Madden football game online, you have to pay for Xbox Live kind of thing. So
Yeah, so it basically just differentiates between the two services. I actually really like Xbox Network. I know it's just like PlayStation Network, but it's just simple. It's simplified. Um, I like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
yeah. One Epic ASD in the chat says, how does that change Ultimate Pass? Because right now they have, the Ultimate Pass, which comes with Game Pass, Xbox Live, and EA. Well, EA and the PC Game Pass. So it's kind of like a whole bundle deal. It doesn't say in the article.
I don't think it will. I don't
Yeah,
think it will touch it. Yeah.
I don't think it really will too much. I think the only thing it'll change, this name change, is literally like if you don't have an account, you're actually getting more features. Like, because originally, if you didn't have an Xbox Live account, which is bizarre to be in a world where you don't have it, you couldn't play like Fortnite for free or, Warzone for free. You had to pay for Xbox Live, where that was different on PlayStation. On PlayStation, you could have a PlayStation Network account, a free account, still play those free to play games, and you only had to pay if you wanted to play like Madden, like the example I use, or something.
So
like
example is you pick up an Xbox Series S inexpensively at a Best Buy because they have a bunch in stock. Okay. And you're able to play.
What dream world are you?
Hey, just roll with it. And so you get it home and you're able to play it, and you don't pay for Xbox Live. You don't pay for any service. You're just automatically able to play some of those free online games like Fortnite and be able to talk and chat with your buddies and stuff by just signing up for a free network account.
An Xbox Network account, so that Ultimate Pass, I'm sure, will still be available, and it'll still include Game Pass. It'll still include EA Access and PC Game Pass, as well as the Xbox Gold or Xbox Live, which I assume they're going to drop the Gold. It used to be called Xbox Live Gold. I assume they're probably going to drop that. It'll just be Xbox Live now. They didn't, again, say that in the article, but that's what makes sense to me. So
it's what sounds like the branding is going to be happening like that to differentiate the two things.
Right. They also, the same person there also asked, what's the difference between the Xbox Series S and X? We've talked about this on previous episodes, but the main thing I would say is power. So the Xbox Series X, capable of 4K, I think steady 60 FPS and up to 120.
Up
is
to
that right?
120. It's up to 120.
And has a disk drive, where the Series S is 1440p at just 60 frames per second. So it's higher.
It's digital only.
Digital only. No disk drive. Exactly. So it's a difference between $500 and $300.
Right. It'll also have less storage space on there, so you'll only be able to hold so many games on the Series S. I think it's actually the better deal is to go with the Series S. Most stuff is going digital anywhere.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm not really sure if you can get an external hard drive for those things. I don't know if they've have they solidified that yet.
So you can plug in any hard drive you want. It's just going to be slow compared to their proprietary super fast solid state drive. And we did an article we did it on our show last fall sometime, where around the time the console is coming out, they are coming out with these memory expansions, but it's going to be like what? It was like
$200 something bucks, right?
$200 something bucks for like a terabyte. I think it was only like 500 gig. It was like a very small amount of space for a lot of money, but it plugs directly into the motherboard of the console, and you get those super fast speeds with the. So
here's my favorite. I love it when you talk about gigs and you're like, oh, that's only 2 point, and I just go, and I was thinking the same thing about gigs.
Yeah. Oh, JJ, you're the
what?
best.
I don't know what a gig is. Doesn't make any sense.
Fine. That's
1.21 gigs of watts.
Gigawatts?
No.
I think that's what it is.
Gigawatts.
It's gigawatts, yeah. Alrighty, the next news story we have on the docket here. Play at Home 2021 event is happening now over on PlayStation. That's right. So they did it last year I think last year was the first time they did it, and they kind of did it in response to COVID. It was like, hey, everyone's locked in their homes. Here's a bunch of free games to play. It was a really cool thing they did. Well, they're doing it again this year. Sony is doing Play at Home 2021, 10 free games to download this spring. And this is from PlayStation Blog. I'm just going to read little snippets here and there, but the program kicked off earlier this month with access to a free digital copy of Ratchet and Clank for PS4. So if you missed that, I think you have until the 31st, which is tomorrow. So tomorrow is the last day you can get that for free. So if you haven't claimed it, go claim Ratchet and Clank right now on your PS4, and I imagine your PS5. And then starting on March 25th, which was last week, you are getting Abzu, Enter the Gungeon, Res Infinite. Sorry, I'm trying to read this very small picture here. Res Infinite, Abzu, The Witness, Enter the Gungeon, Subnautica, and then 4 PlayStation VR games, which is pretty sweet. Moss, Astrobot Rescue Mission, which is actually the first game to what's the one on PlayStation 5?
Astrobot.
Okay, just Astrobot. Okay, so yeah,
Astro's Playroom.
Astro's Playroom. Okay, yeah. So the first one is Astrobot Rescue Mission, and then technically Astro's Playroom was a sequel to that. Paper Beast, and then Thumper, and this one's crazy, blew my mind. On April 19th, you will have access to Horizon Zero Dawn for free.
Right?
Killer
that's
game.
Insane. Like, that's insane they're giving that one away. And so a couple of those games are VR only games. And so I won't be able to play those. One of the games, actually a couple of those games were previous PS Plus games. But let's say your PS Plus ends up going bad and you don't want to maintain it. Get in there and claim those games right now to be able to get a hold of them, especially Horizon Zero Dawn. That's an amazing value.
I just looked too, and it's the complete edition, so it comes with a DLC. So it comes with the main game and the DLC, which is normally like $15 or something like that. So that's a steal. Getting the full game, the DLC, that's available April 19th. I might claim that. I already own it digitally, so hopefully it lets me claim it again. So I want that DLC because I've been wanting to play it and never have. So there we go. So Sony does some things right. Like, they're not all evil. Like, they have great hardware. They have great first-party games. And then every once in a while, they'll do something cool like this. And it's like, okay, so you're not all just evil corporate, like, overlords, just like money, like just grubbing for money any way you can. Like, you do love us, sort of.
That kind of sounds like you, Garrett. You're like exactly like Sony. You're kind of a little money hungry. You're always grabbing at cash all the time, usually out of old ladies' purses and stuff like that. But I think you still have a heart somewhere deep inside. You're kind of like the Grinch.
Yeah, pretty much. And with every child I have, it actually gets smaller.
It's true, dude. Totally true. Recently, you said about the younger one, we won't mention his name, Griffin, and you said, like, I don't really like him as much. And I thought that was like really hurtful that you said that. You're not supposed to say that about your children. And then
honestly,
you made
it might be the other way around. Tell you what.
No,
Griffin's pretty dang cute. I was just telling Trudy today, I'm like, he's a freaking like Gerber baby. He's like so perfect. Like, he has a perfect like round head. He smiles all the time. I've never seen him like not smiling. Every time I walk in the room, he looks at me with like the biggest smile.
Oh, that's called fear. He's got abject fear of you.
Terrified.
Garrett. Like, it's the beard. And he's seriously like, that's not him smiling, buddy. That's fear.
Or it's those animal instincts like the gorillas. He's showing his teeth. He's actually showing his dominance over me. Yeah, he's like, I'm the man of the house now. Ha ha ha, sucker.
So not the sidetrack, but talking about kids. So has Shep, your older son, has he been jealous and hit Griffin yet? Has he like gotten upset at Griffin sitting in mommy's lap or anything like that? Or he's gotten like the jealousy stuff?
Not at all.
Yeah, you're not seeing it. He's pulling his hair when you're not watching. I'm telling you right now. You think I'm joking? Like, dude, last night my son was laying in bed with my daughter. They're laying in bed. They're trying to go to sleep. My daughter is 6 years old almost. My son is almost 10. And at one point, she tried to give him a hug, and he just punched her in the stomach out of nowhere. Just because he's like, she's all over me. She won't get off of me. And I'm like, you punched her in the stomach? I'm like, man. You don't do it to where she can tell. She gets saws her mouth. If you hit her in the mouth, that way, I didn't actually tell him that, just so you know.
No, joke's on you. Griffin has about as much hair as you, so
So just enough. Just enough.
No, I compare his head to a peach. It's about the same size as a peach, has the same squishiness as a peach, and the same fuzz as a peach. So it's like,
okay, you're not supposed to squish babies' heads, Garrett.
Oh,
you
no?
you really shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be
okay.
doing that and going, look how squishy it is, honey. Look at this. I can just push it. Look, a finger's go inside. Look, yeah, you really shouldn't be doing that, Garrett. Honestly,
well, good to know. I wish someone would have told me sooner.
You're gonna be in the paper. Does he have like the hand grips on his head and stuff like that? Like, there's gonna be an article on you, man. That's not good. Hey, can we talk video games instead of your child abuse story?
Oh,
Somebody
no,
call CPS on this.
Please don't say that. It was a joke. I promise. The next news story over from the PlayStation blog as well. Next Gen VR on PS5, the new controller. That's right. PlayStation, I feel like it was about a month or so ago, put out something like, hey, we are working on the next VR. Cool. Well, on, they don't put dates. Here it is, March 18th. So this is literally, it's a couple days after our last episode. That seems to be the way it always happens. We do an episode, a couple days later, some big news. They put out a whole blog post about the controller for the new next gen VR. So no sign of what the headset looks like, but they put out a picture of the controllers, and let me tell you, they look just like the Oculus controllers. Hang on, let me do a quick, I just want to make sure I have that right in my head. I'm pretty sure, of course, I type in Oculus Rift controller, and, oh, okay, no, it's a little different. It looks like something I've seen before, though. So maybe like an old style or the new style. But yeah, it's like these round orby looking things, which I imagine are hand trackers of some sort. You put your hands inside and it has joysticks, buttons. It looks way more comfortable, way more ergonomic, way more like fun and interactive than the old PlayStation VR. Because right now, for the PSVR, what you use is the Move controllers, which were originally designed for the PlayStation 3 eye camera. That's right. They didn't even bother to make a new controller for the PlayStation VR. They're just like, hey, we have a bunch of these in a warehouse left over from the PlayStation 3. Let's just drag these out and put them in a new box, which, actually isn't entirely true. When I ordered, it said PSVR controller from Sony, blah, 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 all this stuff on I ordered it from Amazon. It showed up and it said PS3 eye controller. And they just had like a sticker that they slapped on it. It said PSVR controller. I'm like, are you kidding me? But it worked. It's the same thing. It's no different. It worked on the PS4. So yeah, they're officially going to have their own proprietary controller now. It looks super comfortable. Let's read some of the article here to see what features they're going to have. So it has a unique design, takes on an orb shape, allows you to hold the controller naturally while playing with a high degree of freedom. No constraints with how you're moving your hands, providing the developers with the ability to create unique gameplay experiences. Features. There's going to be adaptive triggers, which that's what the DualSense controller has. They're adding those to the VR controller, which is pretty sweet. Haptic feedback. So there's going to be rumble in the controller, but not just regular rumble. It's this haptic HD feedback that the DualSense has. Finger touch detection. So the controller can detect your fingers without pressing in the areas where you place your thumb, index, or middle fingers. So basically, there's a row of sensors inside the orb part, which would make more sense if you're looking at a picture of it. So even if you're not pressing a button, it knows what your fingers are doing. So if you go like this in real life, it'll do that in the game, which is pretty dope. Yeah. It tracks through, it's actually going to track with the VR headset. So instead of using a camera that you set it, very precariously on top of your TV to track your headset and your controllers, it's actually going to be tracked through the headset, which I imagine with infrared kind of things is what they generally use. And then it actually is going to have the action button. So it's going to have L2, L1, R1, R2, XY, not XY, X square, circle, triangle, all the regular old buttons on there. So this has me excited for the next PSVR because I love the original one, but there's just some jank to it that you just have to get over to fully enjoy it. And now I feel like, okay, PlayStation is taking this thing seriously. Maybe we'll get like a real, maybe even wireless VR headset for the next generation VR. But yeah, I don't know. How do you now? Did you have much experience with the first PSVR?
My first interaction with PS4 at all was on VR with you playing the kitchen demo for Resident Evil 7.
Yes, I
And
remember.
I absolutely loved it. Freaked out like crazy. Got motion sick. Played about 20 minutes of the actual game in the beginning, and seriously was so freaked out. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. But then I got motion sick from all the moving, and it kind of threw me off. It is a little weird, you're moving on the screen, and in your head,
Right.
you think you're moving, but your body's not actually going forward. So it threw me off quite a bit. But I was looking forward to being able to get my own VR for the PS5. I just assumed I was going to be forced to just buy the PS4's version and get an adapter to make it work for the PS5. But I'm excited about them having their own proprietary VR
Yeah, man.
headset for the PS5. I know you'll never have one, so that makes me feel better, that I have something you'll never have,
Yeah,
like
we'll
talent,
see.
class, love,
Okay.
money.
Okay.
Did I say talent?
Yeah, you said that.
Okay.
Um, no, man, I already said this, but I'm excited that they're taking this new VR seriously because PlayStation has this problem where they put out sometimes gimmicky, sometimes not, but like a cool new piece of hardware. And then they either it doesn't get great reception initially, and so they instead of doing some more test runs before giving up, they just give up
I
immediately,
give up.
or right from the beginning they just half-ass it, and then it's just kind of like, yeah, we're putting out this thing, but maybe this is it. And it's like, why do you do that? They came out with a console called the PlayStation TV, which was it's I think yeah, it was back in the day. It basically streamed PS3 games to your TV. They put it out, and I never even heard of it until like after it came out and it was gone already. And I was like, okay, PlayStation TV was a thing. PSP was a killer piece of hardware that they actually supported for a while. And then they eventually went to, came out with, it didn't quite hit what they wanted it to. So they're like, okay, we'll try one more time, which isn't like Sony, but they did it. And they came out with the PSVR. And let me tell you, like, what they did with it was fantastic on the not VR, Vita, the PlayStation Vita. Great little handheld console. But it was one of those things where, yeah, right from the beginning, they just kind of like, here you go. We're done. Like, we're tired. It's like, no, keep supporting the thing. Like, keep
Yeah,
putting
that
games
kind of
out.
sounds like Google Stadia.
Yeah. And so like the Vita kind of turned into the indie machine. Like all the indie developers are putting games out on it, but Sony wasn't putting any first party games because they just were whatever about it. And so when PlayStation VR was announced, the first one, I was like, oh boy, how is this going to go? Is there going to be any support? Are they actually going to like care about this thing? And they did. Like they actually like did a really good job putting stuff out, putting games out, giving you free games. And like only until recently have they kind of started tapering off on the VR game. Oh, that's not even true because at the last State of Play, they announced a bunch of VR games. So it has me excited. Like, okay, maybe they've come around the corner on this. Maybe they'll actually, they cared a lot about the first VR. I really hope that means they'll care even more about this new VR and they don't have like the PlayStation, the PSP to PS Vita problem where when the second iteration comes out, they just, okay, we're tired. Just take it and what you get kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think it's time to move on to this last news story. Resident Evil Showcase broadcast coming in April. The Resident Evil series celebrates its 25th anniversary today. That was on March 22nd. And to celebrate, Capcom has announced another Resident Evil Showcase for April. Capcom won't reveal what's set to be at the showcase next month, but Capcom previously hosted a Resident Evil Showcase in January that focused primarily on the next game in the series, Resident Evil Village. And at the last showcase, we got the new like the announced retail versions for Village, the announcement of the PS5 demo Maiden, and then there was also that Resident Evil Reverse, that weird janky PvP game they're coming out with. So my question to you, because I know you're a big Resident Evil fan, I'm a big Resident Evil fan. What do you think you're going to have at this showcase? Like, we already got a pretty big trailer at the last one. We already got release dates and not like when this is coming out, all this stuff. Are you anticipating more Resident Evil Village stuff, or with the anniversary happening this year, 25th, 25 years? Do you think there's going to be more? Like, what are you feeling for this showcase?
Yeah, 25 years is big, and they've already announced a lot of stuff. But you know what I really want to see? I think they did Resident Evil 2 was such a phenomenal remake. They
So
did
good.
such a great job with that game. Resident Evil 3 was okay. It was pretty decent, right? It wasn't as good as Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2
Yeah.
was phenomenal in every way. I have a real affinity for Resident Evil 1. And I know they tried to update it a little bit and try to fix some of the control issues.
Right.
I
But it
would
wasn't a
love,
remake though.
no, no, no. I would love a full blown remake, just like they did for 2 and 3 for 1 in the mansion. I really feel like it can be done really, really well. I think that that game was so ridiculously scary when I first played it in the 90s when it first came out. Coming around the corner to your first zombie, bent over eating somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
dude.
super hokey now looking back at it with how far stuff has come. But can you imagine that stuff upres to being done now? It's a phenomenal game. It really is. I'd love to see them redo that. Is that going to happen? Probably not. It's just a pipe dream. It's probably going to be more about the multiplayer
Yeah.
and Village, but yeah,
Dude.
one can
Yeah,
dream.
the first one would be awesome to have remade, because I've never completely beaten it, because it's hard to get through now. Like, it's still janky even with the HD quote unquote remaster they did. I've played through a little bit, and it just has such fun puzzles that like the other games didn't have. Like, the other games had puzzles, but nothing like that first mansion. Like, there's like, you got to pick up items at the right time in the right place, and if you pick them up in the wrong order, you screw yourself over because you run out of inventory space. There's, yeah, coming around that corner and seeing that zombie for the first time, eating the dude in the corner. It just has so much atmosphere as well, being in this like fancy mansion to like dungeons to outside in the backyard. There's like the graveyard or whatever. Oh man, that would be so freaking scary. It'd be so awesome. So I honestly
But
think
really,
I,
yeah,
I hope they do something like that. That'd be pretty sweet.
it really
Um,
would be fun, I think, to redo that game. It deserves a full blown remake, just like 2 and 3 got. They 2 and 3 were really fantastic, but 1 was the original, man. So why not take
yeah,
that and you can make the mansion larger. It doesn't have to be as small or anything like that.
it's pretty
Uh,
big. I feel like every time I try to play it, I get so lost.
that's you though,
Uh,
Garrett. You're,
yeah, I guess so.
you know,
Directionally challenged. Um, but yeah, man. We'll see what they come out with. I hope it's not just like, hey, here's one more trailer for Resident Evil 8 and then another trailer for Reverse, because that Reverse looked terrible. And honestly, Resident Evil 8, I'm at the point now where I don't want to see much more. I just want to play it now. Like, I'm excited. I already pre-ordered it on PC. You're going to be getting it on PS5, which is going to be gorgeous. I'm ready just to see, like, play the game myself. I don't want to keep seeing these trailers. So I hope that, yeah, that's not what it is. It's just more trailers and stuff like that, or even behind the scenes. Like, don't get me behind the scenes, just let me play it, put the bonus features in the game so I can watch it later. I don't know. I'm excited though. Resident Evil 8 looks crazy.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a stand right now. I'm going to tell you something kind of crazy. Where I know we're both going to get it about the same time. I'm letting you know right now. Garrett, I am going to finish the game. That's right. Make it a challenge. I'm going to finish the game, and I'm going to finish it before you do, because we know you don't finish games. So
um
let's not look at the code. We don't have time for that. We are so swamped right now, Garrett.
so here's
Move
the
on.
deal. I would have to argue that you will not finish it. And
Oh, why do
here's
you?
why. I mean, you might
Yeah.
finish it, but I think I'll finish it before you. And here's why.
Oh, okay.
This game releases on May 7th,
Oh, right after I've moved there and I'm.
right after, or like right in the
Yeah.
middle of your move. There's no way. You're not hooking up your PlayStation for at least a month after you're there.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare say that! How dare you, good sir?
Oh, man. Yeah. Where
You besmirch me.
I do besmirch you. Where like as soon as I get down there, I'm setting up my computer. I mean, I have to because I work from home as well. So I need to have my computer for my job. So I'll be ready to game lickety split where you're gonna, who knows when you're gonna get your setup going. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay. You keep your 2 cents, Garrett.
Okay, I'll keep it. I'll keep it for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But alrighty, guys. Now it is that time of the show where oh, wait. It's time for Adrian's Super Indie Boys. Are you ready for this?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Alrighty. So coming up right here is Adrian's Super Indie Boys. Every week, if you don't know, or every episode, he puts out a little couple minutes of awesome indie games you got to go check out. And this one has some bangers. I watched it earlier, so enjoy this, and we'll catch you all later in the Patreon ad.
What up, Super Gamer fam? Here we are again. You know what time it is. Super Indie Boys strikes again. I only got a few for you today, but they're good ones. Trust me. Let's get into it. It's just something about that classic Paper Mario feel that we don't get anymore. I miss them. And you know what? The good folks at Moonsprout Games missed it too. That's why they went ahead and blessed us with Bug Fables. Bug Fables is a homage to the original first 2 Paper Mario games with all the heart and all the charm and all the humor packed in. It's a beautiful game, great soundtrack, really good story with a lot of memorable characters. Don't miss out on this one. All of those things are absolutely true. You're going to need all of those skills to get anywhere in Invisigun. Invisigun is a game where you and 3 other people battle in an arena. But here's the twist. You can't see each other. You're all invisible. So you have to rely on your environment and traps to find out where people are and get them. Where people bump off of walls and you can find them that way, or they show up on a security camera. Whenever they fire their weapon, they become visible for a hot minute. So you have to use your brain to figure out how to get them to make themselves visible so that you can catch them. This game rules with other people. Trust me on this one. Get yourself some friends together and figure it out. Pick this one up. Did you catch her? It's okay if you didn't. Dandara speed can be hard to keep up with sometimes. This game puts you in the role of the titular character, where you wake up in a world you have no idea about, but you know that you're tasked with saving it. Dandara tests all your reflexes, your best timing, your eyes, everything, in order to get through this bombastic, beautiful, fast-paced action world. It's on everything. Check it out. Okay, hold on. This one is so cool, I'm just gonna let it rock. Let's go ahead and let it play. That last one was crazy, right? Oh, man. Look, all 3 of those are gems. You need to go out and get them. We need to be playing these indie games. They don't get a whole lot of light, but look at the creativity. All right, I'm out of here for this week. I'll catch you next time. You know how we do. I'll see you soon. Peace.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the first half of the show. Adrian's Super Indie Boys showcase there, killer each and every week. Now it's time for our ad. Remember, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. And for just $1 a month, you can get episodes early and ad-free. This one, unfortunately, we are recording on a Tuesday. Normally we do Mondays. That way, right away when we're done, you get access to that. Everyone else gets it on Wednesday. But yeah, that's how it goes on forward, as well as access to our exclusive Patreon show, Super Gamer Book Club, which, as we had talked about at the beginning of the show, is kind of going on a hiatus for a little bit as well until we possibly find a new host for that to take over. But for the time being, the main show is going on a little bit of a hiatus as well. But when we come back, we're going to be raring to go with those exclusive episodes and with getting these episodes early and ad-free. We have other tiers. $5 a tier, you get the show notes for our show, so ahead of time you can know what we're going to talk about. Leave your own questions, comments, concerns about it. We'll discuss those all on the show if you'd like, if you leave them there. $10, you get the shout out just like our sponsors. We have Bill Bird, Julie Bates, I don't have my show notes in front of me, Brent Fox and Daniel James, and then obviously the big dog tier, our Super Gamer producer, just like Adrian, the Homeboy Holmes. Shout out to you, Adrian. Thanks for supporting us up there, doing a killer segment for the show. And basically, you get all the previous perks of the producer tier, but you also get to pitch or heck, host your own segment, just like Adrian does over there. So if you have an idea for something you want to start popping in the show, support us over at the $15 a month tier, become a Patreon producer, and heck, we'll let you put whatever you want in our show. Well,
within reason.
within reason. But remember, that's patreon.com/supergamerboys. Let's get back to the show. Alrighty, JJ, it's that time of the show where we talk about what we've been playing. So tell me, do tell, what you've been playing.
For a change, I've actually been playing quite a bit of games, and I've been very busy. Yeah,
good job.
Super busy. Have not turned on the brand new beautiful PS5 in a while. It's actually collecting dust, but I have been playing a lot of Lee's Nintendo Switch, and we've been playing Nintendo Online. And I made the mistake of sharing with my son that, oh man, the world record for Super Mario Brothers 1 is just over 5 minutes. And I showed him on YouTube. And since then, we have been killing it, warping and just running through the thing to try to get it done as fast as possible to basically try to do the world record.
Try to speed run, yeah.
Nowhere close. We're getting nowhere close. But it's been amazing and fun. And it's so fun that a game that's so many years old is still so much fun. And we just have such a blast, and we're trying to do it so quickly, and that's just added this level of fun to it. To watch like, hey man, I just died, and I got to 8-2. And it's like, man, I was so close. Yeah, you weren't really close, but you roll with that, champ. So that's been a lot of fun. Been playing a lot of that Super Mario Brothers, and I've been playing a little teensy weensy, little small bit of Animal Crossing. And
okay.
Yeah, not a huge fan. I could see why you guys all like it.
For everyone. Yeah.
No, I would be planting peaches and just doing it addictive style too much. So yeah, I'd rather not touch that game.
Man, yeah.
What about you, Garrett?
Right now, I think they're doing their Easter event in Animal Crossing. I haven't even fired it up in a long time, but I just have been seeing all the memes. I guess like the Easter rabbit character is like super annoying, so everyone's like just making fun of him. For me, I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously, because we're doing the last book club episode next week. Well, actually, it's recording it Thursday, but it's coming out next week for you guys. Been playing a little bit of that. Not so much for the story because I've already know the story and I played it all last year, but just to kind of get that feel for it. I wasn't planning on beating it again. I just wanted to like play for a few hours. Like, okay, let's just get that feel. And dude, I started getting deep into. I've already knocked out quite a few chapters like on accident. Like I didn't intentionally mean to do it. I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna jump into a couple chapters here, and the next thing you know, I was like blowing through the game because this is so much fun. I love the gameplay in Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's so good. The story is so good. The characters are so fun. Immediately, I'm like, love Jesse. Oh man, Cloud, Barrett, the whole gang. Like they're just Tifa. Such a good cast. I love them all. Biggs is the best. So, enjoying Final Fantasy VII Remake again. I started playing Super Mario 3D World. That was a game that came out. So just, I don't know. I feel like it's been a couple months. It came out on Switch. Dude, that game's really fun. It's 3D Mario game meets 2D Mario game. So it's a 3D world, but they do the levels in the style of like how the 2D Marios are, where it's not like so you know how in like Super Mario Odyssey or 64 or Sunshine or whatever, there's like the hub world and then you go to all the other levels from there. Well, with this is more like the 2D games where there's like the overworld map and there's world 1, level 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. So it has that level style, and how like each level can be completely different feel, but it's in a 3D space. So it throws you in this map and you can go anywhere and run around, and it's such a cool concept. I never played Super Mario 3D World on the 3DS. I think it originally came out on, if I remember right. And so this is my first exposure to it is on the Switch, and I'm loving it to death. It's such a fun game. And apparently you can have up to 4 people playing and online co-op. So if anyone out there has it and wants to play online, let me know. I'd be down to at least give it a shot. Might be kind of cool. What else have I've been playing? Oh, I picked up Katana Zero, an indie game.
Oh, that looks so great.
Killer indie game. I have it on Switch. Love it, love it, love it to death. All about like time traveling samurais, or ninjas. Go get that game. It's so stinking good. I fell in love with that again over the weekend. I was playing it. My dad was watching me. He's like, "Oh man, this game's so cool!" Like he was kind of getting into it. And then the last game I haven't actually played, but I just picked it up the other day, Ring Fit Adventure. So like that workout game for the Switch, I got one. So I got the ring, a little stretchy ring thing, and I was like, you know what? My gym closed down. I literally last year, my 2020 resolution was like, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start working out. And then 2 months later, COVID happened and my gym shut down. I'm like, cool. Okay. So I haven't been to the gym at all since last March or whatever. So I picked up Ring Fit finally, and I'm excited to jump in it. I haven't tried it yet, like I said, but I will report back to you in a couple months when we're back from our hiatus and show off my sweet guns.
Okay, what I think would be beneficial is maybe putting on the social media websites. I would love to see you doing it for the first time. You actually doing the exercise with the ring. Let's go ahead and see that.
I don't know
on
about that.
on the Facebook and the Instagram and the Twitter. And
Tell you what, I don't think anyone wants to see that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure everybody wants to see that, Garrett. They want to see you struggling to, put your little, olive oil pipes up, and try to like make a muscle.
Yeah, right. Or to see this overweight dude just trying to run in place in his living room without running out the front door.
Hey, are you making fun of me right now?
No, I put on the pounds, dude. I put on the pounds. Sitting around for the last year doesn't do anyone any good. But cool. Well, thank you guys all so much for listening and watching. Remember, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Another new way you can support us is on Twitch. If you're watching live right now, or even if you're watching on YouTube or listening later, go over to our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. Make sure you drop us a follow. That's completely free, and that helps us tremendously. Just giving us a follow, and if you hit the bell, you'll get the notifications when we go live. But you can also subscribe. Subscribing, it's $5 a month. And, it's similar to the Patreon thing, but just obviously you don't get the perks of the Patreon. You do get cool emotes on Twitch, though. At this point, we have my face, and we're hoping as we get more subscribers, the way Twitch works, as you get more subscribers, it unlocks more emote spots. So I'm hoping to have JJ's face. I'm hoping to have cool, fun reaction ones, stuff like that, which at this point we're not able to because we still have so few subscribers. But remember, $5 a month there. Or if you have Amazon Prime, Amazon actually owns Twitch. So if you have Amazon Prime, it means you can log into Twitch and you have a Twitch Prime account and you have one free sub a month. So it actually doesn't cost you anything. So for free, every month you can go to our channel, subscribe. It's free to you and we get $5. So go over to Twitch right now. If you have an Amazon Prime account, leave us the sub. Not only do you get access to the emotes, but also you help support us and it didn't cost you anything. You can also support us by going to sgbstore.com, buying some sweet merch. I'm wearing my shirt right now. JJ's got his shirt on. You can't buy his, but you can buy mine. We got mugs. We got all sorts of sweet stuff over there. Go check it out. Rate and review us where you can. Give a thumbs up. It all helps tremendously. Supergamerboys.com is where you can find us during our content during the week. At SuperGamerBoys on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/SuperGamerBoys. I am on Twitter and Instagram at GMorlang. JJ's over on Twitter and Instagram at
JJ Purdom.
And remember, supergamerboys.com/Discord. You can join our Discord over there, and you can find all of us over there chit-chatting, hanging out, playing games, whatever, during the week. That's where we do the majority of our, community hangout stuff during the week. Not so much on the social media, but on Discord. So make sure to join us over there. Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. You can check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics. And that's it. That's the end of the show, JJ.
That's it. We're going to take a 2-month break while I go redneck it up and Garrett goes down to sunny San Diego. So formally for Zetch Keenan, and no longer for the little mini tiny
Rest
little
in peace.
small
Rest in peace.
Small little man. Yeah, the very tiny, diminutive little guy. He's like a little army man, that you like want to play with and then put it in the driveway and put like a magnifying glass over with the sun on it.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well.
For Garrett Morlang, I'm JJ Purdom. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Well, actually, it's going to be in a couple months. So I don't know if maybe instead of saying flippity flop, you could have said we'll catch you in two
flippity
not quite
flops.
1 month. Yeah. Two. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that works.
And a few flippity flops.
That's a few. Yes.
Okay.
Text.